It's no point in trying to say, look, in 3 months' time things will be better. No, it won't be better. People will have to prioritize what is important. We have to start thinking like Dubai, or see how lively those economies are. We are the only country in Asia to have gone bankrupt in the last 50 years. So we have fallen really, down. So to get back up is going to be difficult. It's no point in trying to say, look, in 3 months' time things will be better. No, it won't be better. Because we need to really do some major reforms. People will have to learn to live within their means. Public, private, government, everyone. What does that really mean? That means our demand will have to fall. If our demand doesn't fall, we will not be able to meet import requirements. Say it is fuel or LP gas or cheese, So the way to get out of this is going to be austerity. And that's going to be hard because we're used to a particular lifestyle. We were never a poor country. We were always a middle-income country. And by 2019, we were an upper middle-income country. After upper middle-income country, you're a developed country. So we were at the bottom of the one below developed level. And then suddenly we crashed, came crumbling down. So, our people are used to, like I said, certain creature comforts, certain luxuries, right? And how are we going to do without these things at a particular level in society? But at the middle, it's going to be very difficult because a lot of people are on fixed salaries, right? So when everything goes up in price, your salaries don't go up in order to compensate for that increase, right? So you go to the grocery store, suddenly it costs twice. My wife tells me every day, Harsh, I cannot believe how much it costs at the nearby supermarket, right? So people are going to have to cut down, at 450 rupees a liter. Would you be able to just, take off and go to golf for lunch? Probably not, right? So a lot of cutting back, and because people will have to prioritize what is important, health, kids' education is probably going to come way on top, right? So parents will probably have to sacrifice to make sure they have enough money for their children. So luxuries will have to be cut. Foreign holidays probably will take a long time. But then if you look at the bottom of the pyramid, people who are on low income, they're going to be catastrophic. How are they going to manage? Where is the money going to come from? And also look at the SME. The other day, this lady had said they might lose some, 100,000 jobs. Right? If SMEs go under, if corporates start laying off, self-employment becomes difficult. Even somebody, say, making cakes, can people afford to buy those cakes at, now probably 3,000-4,000 rupees a cake is going to be very difficult, right? So everywhere is going to be demand destruction. So reduce consumption. So that's the kind of, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but the way I see that's what's going to happen, right? So to get out of this country will have to grow. There must be economic growth. Where is that growth going to come from, right? So we got to think about linking this country with the rest of the world, building bridges and linking up with what I call global production networks, unshackling the restrictive laws and regulations that governments in the past have sort of subjected the private sector to this permit, that permit, this fellow has to be paid off, that fellow has to be paid off. Doing business has become such a nightmare. So you have to unshackle this economy. So in order to do that, you'll have to do trade reforms, you'll have to do investment reforms, you have to do fiscal, institutional reforms. This country will have to completely change, right? And the statist thinking will have to go away. We have to start thinking like Dubai, or we're going to start thinking like Singapore, we're going to start thinking like Vietnam, or we're going to start thinking, for instance, like even Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh or even Tamil Nadu. See how lively those economies are, So it's going to be a complete change, right? And we will get there. We will get there. I'm very optimistic. Only 23 million people, not even that. Smaller than a big city in India. We can certainly do it, right? If you have the right attitude, right thinking, people are all on the same page and are willing to go through a tough time before this thing turns around. So that's, in a nutshell, how I see